Hi everybody. There really has never been a better time to buy an off-road focused pickup truck than right now, and here's yet another vehicle proving my point. This is the 2020 Chevy Colorado Trail Runner Special Edition. It gets a number of the same upgrades that come to the hardcore ZR2 model, but this truck is only about half a ZR2. The question is, should you save your money and get the Trail Runner, or just splurge a little more and go for the ZR2? Well, I've come out here to the trail. We're gonna find the rocks, mud, and dirt and try to figure that one out. Let's jump into it. Like I mentioned, going for the Trail Runner is going to get you a number of ZR2 upgrades. So what are they? First of all, that Chevy lettered grille right up front to make sure that you can tell this truck apart. It gets a set of 31-inch Goodyear Wrangler Duratrac tires, probably the biggest off-road upgrade that comes to this package. You get a set of rock rails for extra protection, and you also get a front and a mid skid plate to keep you safe off-road. And then finally, you get some accent lighting on this truck. Now, this specific truck is finished in crush. This is just an absolutely beautiful color, and I love it sort of contrasted with the black. So certainly this Trail Runner looks the part, but again, we got to go off-road and see if it's actually good. Another similarity between this truck and the ZR2, the power plant. That's a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6, making 308 horsepower, sent through an 8-speed automatic transmission.
Do you guys love trucks? If so, we've got a new podcast that will keep you entertained for hours, from on-road to off-road, from Raptors to Frontiers to Tacomas. Check out TFLtruck.com/podcast, or go to wherever you get your favorite podcast, including Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Spotify.
Here is the main thing that's going to hold this truck back off-road, that plastic air dam up front. This thing comes on every single stock Colorado. It's going to help with your fuel economy, but of course, it's only going to get damaged once you really start challenging this truck. If I was to buy a Trail Runner, I would definitely take that off myself. I've heard that it's really not that hard. Pop some plastic clips and it comes right off. So step one, if you buy this truck, take the air dam off. Going for the Trail Runner gets you a mostly stock Colorado, like you saw up there with that air dam, and that also means you get these brilliant bumper steps. Now, I bring these up because if you go for the top-of-the-line ZR2, you actually don't get the bumper steps. The ZR2 favors departure angle over having them, but I love these bumper steps, guys. I really think they are brilliant, very smart engineering, so I am happy that they're still here on this Trail Runner. The Trail Runner package is built on the Z71 off-road package. Now that means you're also getting a locking rear differential, you're getting hill descent control, and unique suspension tuning and components to make sure this truck is off-road ready. So now you've seen everything you need to know about the Trail Runner. Let's talk about how much it costs, but you know what, first, let's go do something fun. First up, we got a set of whoops here, and there's actually a ton of sandy whoops here where I'm at. So I've got it in two-wheel drive, traction control off, and let's see how she feels. And right away, you can tell the Z71 suspension is definitely not stock. Oh, but, oh boy! You can also tell that this is not a ZR2. Now that was maybe 25, 30 kilometers an hour, and I almost popped the front end right up off the ground. Maybe I did, actually, it was close. So, I mean, that's right away the difference between this truck and the ZR2 is the suspension in the ZR2 is set up for this high-speed stuff. It's set up for those whoops. It's absolutely gonna swallow that stuff up and, you know, allow you to really move at speed, whereas this truck, the Z71 suspension is not bad for what I'm doing right here. Sort of just plodding down a pretty rough trail. It's keeping me fairly well isolated, but it's not the suspension you want to really open this thing up. Let's go over the 4x4 gear on the interior now. And first of all, down here to the left of the steering wheel, you have your 4-wheel drive control. So you have 2-wheel drive. Auto is essentially all-wheel drive, so it will send power to all 4 wheels if necessary, and then 4 high, and of course 4 low. We're gonna leave it right there in 4 high for right now. The other controls you need to know about are down here on this switch bank. So first of all, we have traction control, and in this truck, if you tap it once, you'll see there on the left, traction control is off. But then, let's go ahead and turn it back on. If you take this toggle and you hold it down, see what happens? Boom. Now traction is fully defeated. No systems working in the background. Now it's all about the driver. Now the other switch you need to know about down here is right there. That is hill descent control. That is standard on every single Z71. And you know what? Let's go ahead and go put it to the test right now. All right, we're approaching this little hill right here. Now, it's pretty steep, but just not that long. And the first thing I'm actually gonna do is I'm in four-wheel drive low. I'm just gonna let the truck run down in low, and let's see if hill descent control really makes a difference, you know, over just having the gearing. So we're at 2 kilometers an hour right now. I also have it locked in first, I should say. This truck allows you to lock it. There's 4. Oh, really controlled 5. Nice. I mean, that was 5 kilometers an hour right there at its max, so no issue at all. So the low range ratio in this truck is not mega, but you know what? It's certainly not bad, and when you do get out here, it feels good on this trail. Let's see how it turns around, this little truck. Oh, also not bad at all. So now it's actually a good time to mention the locker in this truck. So in this truck, it's the G80. So basically what that means is it's an automatic locker. You cannot control it. There's no switches up here for it. If one of those wheels in the back starts to slip, that locker will engage and then send power to the other side. A lot of people like this because, you know, it's hands off. You don't have to worry about it. A lot of people don't like it because, you know, it's nice to have control over your own truck, and being able to fully lock your diff before you get into a situation is usually ideal. So I am a little more in favor of having actual locking diffs that you can control, but you know what, you can get those on the ZR2. Once again, if you do spend the money, Chevy offers that, but here on this truck you get the Eaton. And the reason why I brought this up was because when I was just turning around right there, there was no locking up or really binding up to speak of, and that's because that rear end is not locked up. And that's actually another nice thing about it not being selectable, is it's automatic. You don't think about it, it does its own thing. So you know what, both have their pros and cons. You can decide what works better for you. Okay, so now we got it in four-wheel drive high, and we have hill descent control turned on, and we're here at this hill again. So now let's go ahead and see what happens. Oh, okay, oh, there it is. It caught me there. Now it's slowing me down. Now it's slowing me down. And now I'm down. So that was interesting. Hill descent control was actually not as controlled as just using four-wheel drive low. So there you go. You know what? The best answer is still the mechanical answer. Okay, everybody. Well, I'm jumping into an obstacle right now. I am pretty nervous about it, I gotta tell you guys. Not because of the mud. So this is this really slick, gnarly, rutted out hill. It's these ruts and the clearance of this thing. So I've run these Duratracks through a lot of situations. I have a lot of faith in them. So far, so good. I'm just braking, avoiding this big hill. Ooh, there's the air dam. You know what, guys? I can't do it. These ruts are just too deep down there. My air dam's gonna get just chewed up. But look at these Duratracks in reverse on this hill from a standing start. Just plowing me out. Nicely done. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, and I'm not faking this, guys. I got halfway down there. I can feel the front air dam just scraping, and near the bottom, the ruts get even deeper. So I'm not doing it because I do not want to tear this thing off and have to apologize to GM Canada why I broke their truck. And those are the gnarly ruts I'm talking about. Now remember, this truck only has 8.1 inches of ground clearance, and approach angle is not even over 18 degrees. So really the angles are not there, and you can see right there where it was already rubbing in that fresh mud, a little bit over on that corner too. So yeah, we have found the trail runner's limits. The biggest change that comes to this truck, the biggest enhancement, are the tires, and these Duratracks are excellent. Even on that slick hill, you saw it in reverse from a standing start. They found their power, they found their grip, and they clawed their way up there, no issue at all. So I would recommend the Duratracks all day long. Once you get on road, they do get a little bit noisy compared to other all-terrains, I will say that about them, but for the most part, the Duratracks are such a good all-terrain tire. What this truck really comes down to, though, isn't necessarily performance, it's price.
We'll get to the price in just a moment, but now that I'm back out here on public roads, I do want to bring one other thing up, and that is towing and payload. If you do go for that top of the line ZR2, your towing and your payload numbers are limited, whereas if you do go for the Z71 Trail Runner, you're going to get better capacities. So here's a little chart comparing the two to give you a sense of what you're giving up going for the ZR2. Now, let's dive in to what this package actually costs. So, in the United States, if you go for a Trail Runner, you're going to be spending $2,990 on the package. Here in Canada, the Trail Runner costs $3,729. So, just under $1,000 difference between the two countries. Now, overall price for this truck, now, this one you're looking at here in Canada, as it sits, is about $47,000. And then if you want to talk about this exact same truck in the United States, well, I went on the build and price tool. I got it as close as I could. In the US, this truck as it sits is just a little above 42 grand. Now, here's the interesting part. Bumping from Z71 up to ZR2 is about a $7,000 difference. And this package basically comes right in the middle, right? In Canada, sure, it's a little more, in the US a little less, but you're basically spending half the money on the ZR2 package to get these Trail Runner upgrades. So then the question becomes, is it worth it? And it really depends on what you want to do with this truck. You saw the limitations today. This is not a dedicated off-roader. The tires make a massive difference. I love having the extra protection just to make sure you're not too worried about dinging up your rockers or anything important underneath. But if off-roading is what you care about, you still have to get the ZR2.
So what's the verdict on this orange beauty? Well, no, obviously it's not a ZR2. It's not going to take you to the places that that truck will. But you know what? For the money, I actually think this is decent value, and it definitely is a step above stock. So guys, that's it for this video. Make sure you go below, leave a comment, let me know what you think of this Trail Runner Special Edition. And as always, hit like, hit subscribe, and then come right back to the channel for the latest news, views, and real world reviews. See ya.